work-life balance over. Brandon McCown, how you doing? Alright, let me get situated here. And as always, the instant I start streaming, my dogs go nuts. Good evening, everyone. How are we doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Finally got my brother's computer sent off today, which I'm pretty happy about. Finally able to make it work. Larger pile than that. There must be something like the dogs can sense that I've turned the stream on, and so they know to act a fool. Alright. Tonight, I got some rings in. Finally. And we're going to finish up this layer on this cube, and then this cube has been claimed. So here we go. I've got the corner to do this side, and then this side. You can kind of see the layer there. I don't know if you can see it on the overhead camera. Yeah, kind of. See where the light kind of differentiates right there on both sides. Did some more ear wiggle practice. Right on. Alright, for anyone who wants to know, these are the 18 gauge. This is backwards for you, but it's 18 gauge 1/8 standard wire gauge from chain-reaction.ca for the rings here. They're up in Canada. Be sure, if you're going to order from them, any of the Canadian manufacturers, right, be sure to order as much as you can, right? Because shipping is a beast. It's not fun. It is expensive. But yeah, normally I wouldn't have ordered such a small amount, but I should do an ear wiggle. I should just change my channel over to Stitches or Duets, where I challenge people to move their face in a peculiar manner. Mason, thank you for the roses. Appreciate you. How you doing tonight? Okay. So let's see here. Got up, got the kid to school. Went to the post office, argued with them. I didn't really argue with them, as you wouldn't mind that, you know me. I'm just kidding. There are rules posted to the post office website, right? And the clerk basically said that she doesn't think that she could ship the laptop that I was trying to send my brother. I was like, all right, fine, I'll go to FedEx. I had dealt with FedEx before, and I needed to get confirmation of the address from my brother before I could go back. So I had to wait until this afternoon. But the United States Postal Service contracts FedEx to ship all their stuff that's going on a plane, that's going somewhere, right? So the United States Postal Service can absolutely ship a laptop. Okay? What the clerk didn't... I don't think the clerk knew how to input into the computer that is what... I don't think she knew how to input into the computer that it was a laptop that we were sending and that it would be okay. So... what brand are the side cutters? These are Xeron 483 pliers, if that's what you're asking about. Is that focusing? I can't tell. I am cold. It's cold in my basement. It gets real cold with the air conditioning on down here. Thanks for the heart. Appreciate you. How you doing, Mike? Yeah, so the 3-day fiasco of trying to ship my brother a laptop is complete. It's out of my hands. We'll see if it comes back to me. I don't think it will. Another wonderful day. Good. It's good to hear. But my return address is on there just in case. I don't know why. So my brother ordered the computer from Amazon, and Amazon wouldn't ship it to Okinawa, right? I don't know why. And I don't know why my brother insisted on having the laptop from Amazon. I would assume that there are laptops for sale in Okinawa somewhere. Or laptops from Japan that you could buy. I don't know. I'll have to ask him about it next time. Sent your son his laptop after basic when he got to tech school. It never arrived and it was impossible. Ugh. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping my brother's laptop gets there. Had to go through hoops to process the claim. Yeah, I would never want to... I've lost stuff in the mail. But I've never... It was always stuff coming to me. It was never something I sent someone that I had to follow up on. So... Now, other than that, it was a typical day. There's two reasons I'm working on this jelly cube. One is because I want to finish this layer, right, and get it sent on its way. But also for the big cube that I've been working on for a while now, I don't have enough of these strands of blackened stainless to add to it to go to the next step. Basically, I would just be making those strands. So we are working on this now. You never succeeded in getting reimbursed. I have heard that many times. It's like I try to purchase insurance on everything. And even you know, like I said, I've never had an issue, but oh, excuse me. So, other than that, I got some dog food, I got some hand soap. It was an eventful day. You had the insurance and you still didn't get reimbursed. That sounds like insurance. It's like, it's not to cover you in case of a situation. Right? Like, the people that work at an insurance company aren't really there to make sure you get reimbursed for or have coverage or anything. They're there to make sure that the company doesn't lose money. It's very much the Incredibles version of insurance, where the short little dude is yelling at Mr. Incredible about why all his customers seem to know intimate knowledge of the company and how to get their payouts and everything. He said, send us the original receipt to purchase to prove the value. You've been bored all day, so you're glad I'm live? I'm sorry you're bored. My kid, towards the end of summer, started pulling that. It's like, I'm bored. It's like, you have every gaming system known to man. Go find something to do. Thanks for sharing the live. Appreciate you. Today was his first day of homework, so we had to sit down and figure out how all that was working. Took a little longer than I anticipated, but we got it done. I was actually concerned that between getting homework done and getting dinner done and running to FedEx, that I would not be back in time, or that it would just be too late for me to get started down here. So fortunately, every gaming system, yeah. Let's see, where's my kid? He's got a PS4, he's got an Oculus, he's got a PS3, and then in the main household living room, he's got a there is my PS5, a Wii, a Nintendo, a retro Nintendo, and a Switch. You know, it's very disappointing that we don't focus on Paralympics the same way we do normal Olympics. I didn't catch much of the normal Olympics this year at all. It's like the how to phrase it. Okay, so like there's this big conflict going on in between the country I'm in and another large country in Asia, right? I hear about it occasionally, and I almost never see anything about it, like clips of it online. I'm told that they exist, but it never comes across my feed, right? Same with the Olympics, right? I saw a little bit of it. What is her name? Kashari, is it Henderson? Kashari Johnson? The 100-meter dash lady that, like, smoked everyone. And I saw Simone Biles popped up. But that was, like, it. Nothing else came across any of my social medias. So, I don't know. You have a Switch? Right on. Switches are cool. I sat down last year and played Tears of the Kingdom for, I think I have 450 hours on there. Just going through the whole game, beating all the levels and everything. A 3DS. 3DS is cool. We have one of those. I don't even know if it still works, but... I need another messaging system. I can hear my kids stomping around upstairs. And if you've ever been in a basement, the steps above echo and reverberate throughout the whole basement. kind of annoying when you're trying to stream and talk at the same time. And they've gotten so loud many times that it's picked up on stream and everything. You're pre-open, closing the next 7,500 rings to finish layer 5 of your cube. Right on. So what's what is the latest with the Paralympics, Mike? Is that just like what you're watching and it's not getting the coverage you think it deserves? Because like I said, you know, I saw very little of the Olympics. I haven't seen a single thing about the Paralympics. But I'm also a shut-in, and I sit down in my basement and, you know, I'll watch YouTube or whatever. Nothing much, just start up, but the TV time isn't there and the advertising isn't there. Okay, so there's no sponsors and not the big hoopla. I can appreciate that. Though, I would imagine that a lot of the people competing in the Paralympics have a whole lot more drive than me, but also a lot more drive than many Olympians. You sit around on your bed all day watching YouTube? Don't watch YouTube all day, it'll rot your brain. I'm too far gone. I mean, I listen to music a lot of the time too, and it's like comparing men versus women, pro sports, one you see, one you hear about only. Yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Well, random account, if you're sitting around all day watching YouTube, you got plenty of time to make some chainmail. You felt an official Olympic gold medal in your hands. Coworker was, I'm assuming Olympian. I think the most, now that I think about it, right? He was a coach for Paralympic gold ball. Nice. Now that I think about it, the sport that I followed the closest, I didn't watch the end of it, but that's the one I watched the most was the skeet shooting. I probably watched like a good half hour of that. His daughter was on the team and let him bring it in. Oh, right on. Very cool. It's like outside of the internet memes of the guy shooting with both eyes open, no special visual stuff. The Aussie break dancer. Yeah, outside of that, I didn't catch much, but I did catch some skeet shooting for a bit. It's done, yeah. Yes, please, like the live. Like the live, share the live. It's like, it's kind of hard if I, like, okay. This is a light object on a light background, right? So it's kind of hard to see what I'm making. But for anyone watching, I'm finishing up this layer of the jelly cube here, right? And then this one will be done. And I might start a new one. But yeah, it's difficult. You can see it pretty well on the overhead camera here, but not so much on that cam. And these are pretty small rings too, so like Jeep and Jammer, how you doing? It's a nice jelly cube, thank you. one of my favorites. Oh, speaking of jelly cubes. So I got, for the next jelly cube project that I have lined up, I was talking last night, like I've got my coffee can 2/3 full of rings. 3/4? Nah, 2/3. Right? I was talking about how I was just gonna make a bunch of small cubes, but I had forgotten that I had already started the large cube that I was originally intending to raffle off. So, how big is this? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If I took this out to each side, 13 by 13 by 13, might just finish this cube and then make smaller cubes of whatever's left. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I gotta adjust my position here. Oh, holy crap! I gotta tell you, first thing this morning. So I woke up on my right side, which I don't typically sleep on, or I don't wake up on my right side. And I hear my alarm going off. I've got my jet mask for my CPAP on, and I roll over to try and turn my alarm off, but my hands are numb, right? And I'm simultaneously trying to grab my phone and turn off the alarm and take off the CPAP mask at the same time. And I knocked my phone with the alarm still ringing off the nightstand. And I'm just struggling so hard on the struggle bus to fix this that I'm laughing, trying to get my phone, trying to take my CPAP mask off all at the same time, waking up everyone else in the house. Oh, that was the I haven't woken up that hard in a long time. It was like I could not use my hands at all. It was cracking me up. Ordered some stuff, try making a mold of the visor instead of vacuum forming. Right on. What's that process gonna look like? But yeah, I slept wrong last night, and yes, waking up on the right side of the bed is not always the solution. It was difficult. It was a struggle to get the alarm on my phone off this morning. So anyway, I've got 5 more hours left on this cube, I think. So I'm going to take a break from this larger cube over here and knock this out. I don't know if I'll have it done by tomorrow night. We'll see. Because tomorrow day, I plan on making the strips of Byzantine that I need. Right? I need to make some more of those. I've got 21 left on this top layer here. And then 84 more, so I need 105. That's going to take me several days to make. But we are nearing the end of the large cube. My hand's being covered up. Come on. Go in your home. So, what else is going on? I have been doing a little cleanup here in the basement. Getting stuff a little more organized. It's a little It's still cluttered. It's still a mess, but we're getting somewhere. Like, you can visually see the difference between the mess I had beforehand. That's what she said. What'd I say? Going with silicone cast of the visor buck, followed by translucent green resin slosh. Nice. Was it the... That's the hardest I've woken up in a long time? Is that what I said? Thanks for the heart. How you doing, Angie? I wasn't meaning for that to be dirty, but definitely, like, phrasing. It was just a struggle to physically get out of the bed and take my CPAP mask off and turn my phone off. So, thanks for sharing the live. Appreciate you. Where are we at here? It's like, I don't want to be making cubes for the rest of my life, so it's like, I'm going to make this one over here, and then the other large one that I've already started, and however many small ones after that. And I think that's going to be it for a while. I like cubes. They're fun. They're cool, but it's like, unless I can... You've seen evidence of this working with resin in your research beforehand, as long as it's thin enough? Right on. Kevin, how you doing? How are you feeling, man? Yeah, so make these next couple of cubes, and then if I do this one, if I do one like this again, I'm gonna do it in stainless, more than likely. Should be see-through with minimal obstruction. You need to make a mold either way for vacuum form. Right on. You're getting better every day. It's good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, that's an incident like that. Glad to hear you're doing better. I need to call my dad, actually, and ask him how he's doing. And my grandma. My grandma's 5 million years old, and she was here when God created the universe. And she's a type 2 diabetic. Most compliant type 2 brittle diabetic I've ever met in my life. But she takes real good care of herself, and she's doing pretty good. She does get confused every now and then, even when her blood sugar is not causing her issues. Right. Usually she has confusion along with blood sugar drops, but figured, okay, started doing some mail-in earlier today. Right on. Figured why not try resin along the way. You need to make the buck out of something that is something. I know y'all just heard him say 5 million, or was that just... Yeah, she's old. Something that's stronger than plastic to hold up to the heat of the vacuum forming process. Yeah. I gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean, she's like 92 or something, but... She probably personally knew Methuselah from the Bible. She'd laugh at me and tell me I was rotten for saying all these mean things about her, but She's a wonderful lady. And I need to call her and see how she's doing. All right. Yeah, it's always okay as you get older, and as your parents and relatives get older, and especially with me being a nurse, whenever I talk to my family members, it's always about their health conditions. So, like, that's what I'm checking up on. Maybe cement, the just powder version, not the one filled with rocks. Not sure if plaster would be strong enough. A viable option for the heat. Okay. Thanks for sharing the live. Appreciate you. This sounds like a complicated endeavor, Jeep and Jamber. I hope it turns out. Ask your grandpa if he has seen T-Rex lately. Have you seen a T-Rex lately? He says no when you get to his age. Yeah, fair enough. Yes, I'm working on this, and then once this layer is done, Lisa, this is shipping out. It's going to a new home. How are you, Lisa? So I'll ask my grandma that question if she's seen any T-Rexes lately. That's a funny way to harass your elderly relatives. My dad's that age, I can ask him that too. So my dad's 72, my grandma's 92. You can be real about something, I guess. I don't know, it depends on what it is. You're great, thanks for sharing. How many rows in your cube now? 16. I'm working on the 16th row on this side. For the low price of blank, you too could give a jelly cube such as the one before you to a new home. It was not a low price, I'll tell you that much. Lisa, have you expanded on your cube at all since the last time we chatted? Would you say it was 31 rows? For the moderate price. Yeah. No, actually, probably not. Because, like, the likelihood of me making another one of these anytime soon means that anyone's going to have a hard time finding a large jelly cube. Especially one that someone is willing to part with. So, I mean, that's the thing. They take hundreds of hours to make. They're super cool. No, you set aside for a break. You have supplies for 31, but it's at 23 right now. Okay, right on. Yeah, I was hoping to get this one to 20, but it's looking like that's not going to happen. Maybe the next one. I'm probably going to use a different material for the next one, so if I ever get time to make another one, I really need to finish up all the projects laying around in my basement. This is one of the things that I was not supposed to start working on until I had all my other projects completed. And as you can see, I worked on it a lot instead of working on the projects that I have laying around. So, what material? I probably stainless steel, but I don't know who makes. I haven't checked. It'll either be stainless steel or titanium. Eventually I'll probably do one of each, but cubes are entertaining to watch, or making cubes are entertaining to watch, yeah. Alright, so my understanding of how these occurred, yeah, titanium. Titanium. I don't know who makes the right ring sizes for them, but I'm sure someone's got to, right? I would assume. I don't know, though. So, back in the day, let's see if I can remember his name. You can go to a website called chainmailbasket.com, right? And using this technique and many others, the individual who ran that website made a little chainmail castle, a bunch of chainmail baskets, as is the name of the website. But the structure for the castle was this Japanese 4-in-1 cube technique, right? And well, Stephen Hoffman made the first Jelly Cube, right? But when he was streaming, this is like he just iterated that other people had used the weave before him, right? But he is the one that perfected like the whole jelly effect to it, right? And then he showed up at it was the chainmail, what was it called? It was a get together of a bunch of chainmail artists. I think it was down in Florida. I didn't get to go, at least that's if I'm remembering this story correctly. And so he showed up to a group of chainmail artists with a jelly cube, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. And everybody loved it so much, they immediately went out and tried to make their own. And then all the suppliers started manufacturing rings for jelly cubes. And now we have a steady supply of suppliers for the right ring size, and they come in multiple colors and materials. And the chainmail meetup in Knoxville, I thought it was the one in Florida, so the Knoxville one was probably before the one in Florida. It was before the Florida meetup. So the Florida meetup was the one I was going to go to. I unfortunately could not make it out there. And I don't know the timeline of the Knoxville event, to be honest. So, it could have been longer than 3-4 years ago. I think the Florida event was 3-4 years ago now. But yeah, so he shows up with this cube he had made. and everybody goes nuts over it because they're awesome, and who wouldn't, right? They're great. And that's, you know, that's kind of how things happen. That's happened several times, right? There's a weave called Great Southern Gathering, GSG, and other people have discovered it on their own, but it was discovered at a group event at the Ringlord factory up in Canada. I think it was their first shop. And then everybody loved it so much they were all making it, right? And I came along many years after that. Not into chainmail, but I was not like a member of any of the chainmail groups until like 7, 8, 9 years ago. But that was a story from the original Ringlord forum that we used to have. You're going to make a small one to use as a gelatinous cube mini for D&D. There you go. Can't remember either. It was a few years before COVID. Yeah, that sounds right. Sometime in the last decade, right? Probably in the last 7, I'm going to go with 7 years. Cinnabar from Twitch, who has not streamed in a long time because he's really busy and really important. His name's Steven, and he's a really good chainmail artist, and he's the one who came up with the cubes, or who perfected it. I don't know, right? Mac, how you doing? So yeah, the that is the story, as far as I know it, of how jelly cubes came into existence. So you got to do them, you know, you got to make them one ring at a time, and they are super fun. I've seen people attempt to 3D print them, which, if you could perfect it, because you would not believe the number of comments that I get on my videos that have gone viral of people, like, a lot of them are like, oh, it's a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. And then those are fine. Those I can deal with. I just block them immediately. You know, you tell me that the thing I've dedicated my life to for the last 28 years is a waste of time, you are immediately gone, right? My other favorite kind of people are the people who are like, what a waste of time, you can just 3D print that, right? And it's like, you know, yeah, you can, but you're going to have a really hard time going through R&D to come up with a product that is cheap enough to sell quickly, you know, and made of metal, right? The metal feels better. Well, they have metal 3D printers, so someone will figure it out, and it'll be really cool, and it'll be the next viral fidget toy. On TikTok, they have those like flat, I don't know, they call them chainmail things, but they're just like these flat sheets that expand and contract, and it's they're all like 3D printed garbage. It's not anything remotely close to what me or any of my friends would call chainmail, but. And then there is 3D printed chainmail out there, which is cool. I tried to buy some from one of the people that like designs files for it. They made a bag out of it, and I was like, you know what? I would love to have that in my collection. And they would not sell it to me. They wanted to sell me a file. I'm like, I don't want the file. I'm not going to go buy a 3D printer just for a... Get out of here, fly. What are you doing? You know the printing metal is possible, but it's super expensive right now. Well, I'll let the people in my comment section that tells me that I should just 3D print it to. Well, I'll let them know that it's super expensive because they just. I don't know. I guess people think that it's really cheap to make something like this. It's amusing. The ignorance of people. It is what it is. You're never gonna, inform or influence everyone. So, but yeah, it'll happen. I'm sure of it at some point. 3D printed chainmail is neat and really fragile. Yeah. Well, I've seen a resin version, and then I've seen whatever the other stuff that like an Ender 3D printer uses. I don't know enough about 3D printing to speak coherently about it. Hell, I barely know enough about chainmail to speak on it, you know? FDM. That sounds right. That sounds like something. Sounds like a material a 3D printer would use. You have an Ender printer? Yeah. I think I knew that, actually. But, yeah, it's like, I'm not going to go buy a 3D printer to print my own chainmail. Or just to buy a file and print something, you know? Like, I understand that you want to sell the file, right? But, like, also sell the physical product, too. I don't know. It was a weird interaction, but still cool. I won't knock anybody for advancing the techniques with which we make chainmail. I personally am of the opinion that there will come a time when someone will come up with a machine that will take any material and any chainmail weave that is out there, and it will just print or make whatever you input into it, right? You know, you plug some stainless steel wire into one end, and it'll coil, cut, weave, and produce a finished product at the end. Technology, I think technology will get there eventually, right? Like, there already is machine-made weaves like European 4-in-1. I've seen full Persian, and I've seen Byzantine. You'll print it in yellow or something goofy like that. Oh, a sheet of chainmail? Yeah, that'd be awesome. If you don't go out of your way and don't spend money on me, but I could definitely make a video talking about machine-made chainmail. You don't know why mechanizing art makes you sad? No, I think that it's the there's a phrase for it. The never-ending forward march of technological development, right? It's like, I think that it will eventually happen. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but with robotics and AI and 3D printing all coalescing into usable technologies at the same time, I think someone will build that machine. Some bored chainmail artist will be like, I need a lot of chainmail for my booth, so I'm going to make this machine. And it's like, that's the thing about machine-made stuff, right? Is like, It's some quote on Facebook or something. It's like, I didn't want the development of AI and technology to bring about AI that could write poetry and movie scripts while I do the dishes. I wanted, AI to do my dishes and my laundry while I wrote poetry or wrote a book or whatever, right? You already have the filament? Right on. You could get one of those multicolored silk PLAs. That would be cool. Oh, yeah. PLA. That's the material I was thinking of when I mentioned a material earlier. Like I said, I don't know enough about 3D printing to shake a stick at, but and that's it's like all these people using AI to make AI pictures and videos and whatnot. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, but it's a whole lot different. It's like someone who plays all the instruments in an orchestra and writes what do you call it? What do orchestras play? Orchestrations? I know this word. I don't know why this is eluding me right now. Like Beethoven. Beethoven writes, what are they called? They're called something. Symphonies. Thank you. See, someone, chat, you're so smart. Okay, I don't remember where I was going with that. All right, someone using AI to make music, right, is a lot different than someone who learns all the instruments in an orchestra and writes a symphony. And it's never, ever going to be the same. It might not be bad, but I think that the distinction between what is conjured up by AI visually or musically, right, needs constant distinguishment between what humans do. Now, by all means, use AI for inspiration or something, but don't. Some AI artists, go and make an image using a prompt, and the image comes out really good, and they're like, look, it's just as good as if someone made it in Photoshop, and I just don't think that's the same. Love to metal print some of the chainmail design you've done. PLA is great, but metal would be epic. Yeah. Sarah, how you doing? Sarah. Sarathana Demokin. Is that English? So like your Warcraft ogre name? I'm still I'm trying to process this name. Sarathana Demokin. It's a good name. Good name. All right. Anyway, I don't want to be too judgy. I don't know anything about AI or 3D printing. Great. Yeah, English. Good. Good. I'm glad to hear you're doing great. But it's going to be a difficult time trying to convince me that which you can make with AI is as good as or better than what humans already make, right? And that's not what we want AI to do anyway. We want our lives made easier so that we may enjoy life more. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, I think it's weird to be one of these companies that develops tremendously powerful technology, right? And then doesn't use it for the betterment of humanity. And I don't know if their technology can better humanity. But like, is the goal world domination, or is it the betterment of humanity? And if it's not one of those two things, why is there another reason to make artificial intelligence? I don't know. Anyway, you guys tell me, what are your thoughts on how to properly use AI? To make better public bathroom art. If that's the only reason someone spent, billions or trillions of dollars into the development of AI, that's actually, I'm okay with that. That seems like a legitimate reason. How did we get to this conversation? This is a heavy conversation, right? Like, the forward march of technology, the never-ending onward progression of the technological development. I think that's where we started. Because I said that I think that, okay, now I remember how we got here. Someone will make a machine that you can just input a material like a stainless steel wire or a gold wire, and the machine will print out or spit out a finished product in any chainmail weave that you want. Like, I just think that it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, right? I think a lot of things have to happen in order for that to occur. I just think it's possible. I think there was a robot that was supposed to identify different bread and it found cancer. Yeah, that was a Japanese robot, wasn't it? Something like that. Or Chinese. Somewhere in the Asian market. I believe that they found that. AI is good in some aspects, but as an art standpoint, there's no oomph because there's no sweat behind it. I like that take. Like, I'm not big on modern art, right? Some of it's okay, but we're finding out more and more why modern art exists in the first place. And it's like, oh, it's a CIA psyop? Oh, okay. Well, that explains a lot, right? And it was a CIA psyop to mess with the Soviet Union, right? Cool. Not a big fan, but art that depicts the human condition is art that I like a lot. One of my favorite pieces is Melancholy by Albrecht Dürer. If you don't know who Albrecht Dürer is, he made reliefs. And the reliefs are got a lot of symbolism in it. That'd be a good route to take the AI into the medical field. Hey, anything to reduce the fraudulency of the medical system is good with me. That's one of those things that came out real quick, was like ChatGPT accurately diagnosing someone's symptoms fairly quickly, and picking up on a diagnosis that had been missed by doctors for a long time or something. Now, I don't know how true that story is. I don't have the means with which to investigate something like that, but that was the headline, at least. Yeah, but they would have to make sure it didn't make mistakes ever. Well, I think that's possible. And as you add like lab information and visual information to a data set that an AI works off of, the more accurate it would become over time, right? So, like, okay, take all the MRIs that we've done in the world and feed it into an AI data set and have them analyze it, right? And the more they get, the more accurate it should become over time, right? You don't, do you need AI to tell if you have a compound fracture in your forearm? Probably not. So you probably wouldn't need it for everything. But PET scans, MRIs, CT scans, all those advanced imaging techniques that we use, I think that someone is probably already doing that in the medical system. Issue is that probably not going to make prices come down. It's probably going to be like, oh, we used AI as your doctor, and so now cost is double. There's like MRIs, right? You go to get an MRI done, it's $5,000, right? It's like $15 in electricity to do the MRI, another $100 to have the doctor look at it, okay? But because of our medical system, it's like $5,000, okay? And my numbers are not accurate, so don't come at me that way. I just know that they're way more expensive than what they actually cost. You have to have a human touch as well as confirm what an AI finds. Well, I think that, what are the sci-fi, like, little scanners that they use in Star Trek? The doctor just, like, scans someone, and he's like, oh, you touched a plant on that planet, and now you have gonorrhea. Like, I think we'll probably get to that at some point. I don't know. All right, let's see here. And I do think we'll eventually get to a point where we can biologically engineer the human body to resist disease. I don't think we're anywhere near that. If we survive long enough, we might eventually get there. So not something that's going to happen in my lifetime. I don't know. We'll see. So you, Charlie, how you doing? Yeah, I don't care. Kelso, how you doing? Is this cube number 2? I've made a bunch of different cubes. This is the one I've been working on the longest. I have a lot of hours. This isn't my biggest project, but I have a lot of hours into this. I'd have to do some math to figure out how many for sure, but this cube isn't, it's not like my other cube over here, right? Oh God. Okay. So this cube had a lot of mistakes, and I spent a lot of time fixing the rings for the blackened stainless strips that hold everything into place. So I have a bunch of additional time into this cube. It otherwise would not have taken me this long, right? But this is a fairly large project, and we're almost we're almost done with these edges here. We can move on to the next layer to finish up the row, and then it'll be done. Told about it last time we were talking, but couldn't explain well enough. Is it a dragon scale hoodie? It's supposed to represent like chainmail scale hoods, or chainmail scales, right? Hang on. Let me grab what I'm talking about here. All right. So this is scale mail, right? And it was supposed to be based off of that. And then the inside actually has chainmail printed on it. Right? I don't know if you can see that from there too well. But you love how liquidy metal can be? Yeah, it's cool. So I think everybody loves these jelly cubes. So it's just unexpected for, you know, something to have the heft of metal and then just be this absolute banger of a fidget toy. And then, you know, chainmail, you know, hang on, let me close this ring. You know, as a general rule, right, you got bracelets made of metal that are just like super flexible and can bend any which way you want, you know? Or you can make it a little less flexible and like it's all metal. It's just bendable, you know? Bendable metal. So yeah, I think that like the tactileness of chainmail is definitely one of the things that I love about it. And just, you know, that you can make so many different things. Like, it's funny because, you know, it's metal, but it actually takes a lot of work to make chainmail rigid. Right? Like, this is filled with glow-in-the-dark BBs. Right? So, this doesn't count. It's fairly loose when it's not filled up. Well, no, maybe it does count. I don't know. Because the same thing. There's a glass marble, right, inside this monkey paw, and that's what's making everything rigid. But you know, it takes quite a bit of work to make chainmail solid. All right. Where are we at here? It's actually something that I'm going to attempt. Okay. Let me collect my thoughts on this for a second. Okay. So, if you've been following me and you've followed along with this giant cube I'm making over here at all, right? You know how much I've talked about displaying it, right? Or if you saw my Finnegan's Wake inlay that I finished up recently, I've talked a lot about displaying it. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. I attempted one, like, base, and let me grab it for you to show you what I mean. Okay. I attempted a base display mount out of chainmail, and it's almost okay, right? It didn't quite work out, right? It's kind of wonky. So it was an interesting project, right? But, you know, I could set something in here and it would work. This obviously does not. It didn't turn out quite right, right? Still a cool. This is kind of me getting into making chainmail sculptures. This was one of the things that put me on this path, right? So, like, how it would work is, you know, just set a piece of chainmail in there like that. Ta-da! And so I end up spending a lot of time thinking about how I want to display, you know, some of the projects that I want to make. I don't need to make a display for the Fidget Cube. This big cube over here, I do need to make a display for. Right? Your Inception rings are rigid? Yeah. That's actually, like, finding weaves that have rigidity in them is actually pretty difficult. And then you make a bunch of those rings, and then you weave them together, and you make something out of them. But those are, like, you really have to be intentional about making chainmail into something solid, you know? So the whole watery, liquidy effect of chainmail is, it's fun, man. Speaking of some of the earlier projects that I made, I have this brass, bronze, and stainless steel piece, and it kind of looks, whenever you mix, when you have brass and bronze together, you gotta throw a third color in there because it it looks, you know, it can look a little gross if you don't. All right, especially if they start getting tarnished. So I have another piece that is brass, bronze, and stainless steel. And when it was just the brass and bronze before I added the stainless steel chain, it too looked kind of gross, right? Now it's actually a pretty cool little sculptural piece that I made using up the remainder of the rings that size. But I have a piece coming up that I want to work on. It's a mock-up. I'm using up rings that I have on hand and just kind of experimenting with what I have here at the house. And similar to if I had done my big cube here, all one color, it would just look like an amorphous blob, right? But because I have the blackened stainless steel as well as the regular stainless steel, there's some contrast there that's added. So I have a piece that's coming up that I want to make, but I need to add a different color to it to contrast the rest of the piece, because otherwise it's just gonna look like a mess. So I gotta figure out what to do. I gotta figure out what I want to do. The rings are not saw cut, so it's probably not a piece I'll sell. Why not use plated colored rings like anodized aluminum or anodized titanium or something like that? Okay, because it's not going to end up being a finished piece, I don't want to put a lot of money into it. That's probably why my biggest deterrent on ordering expensive rings for it. So, I don't know. It's like I'm not very good with color to begin with. So the few things I've learned with color is that contrast improves the visual appeal of a project. Which you go, yeah, that makes sense, Sean. Why did you not learn that in kindergarten? Apparently I did not, because I have struggled with color for a long, long time. What am I doing? I'm not done with that side yet. Hang on. Turning it around before it's ready. So, but I think, okay, so I think that I can, I have stainless steel to work with, and I think that if I buy some brass, that'll give me enough contrast to really make the piece pop. And it's going to be cool. When can we work on that project? Whoa, 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 whoa. What has happened here? What is going on? There it is. I lost where I was working on. You just recently learned that purple is the absence of green? Wow. Hey, that makes two of us. What does that even mean? Is it just me, or is this reminiscent of a woman jug? Is this reminiscent of a woman jug? What is a woman jug? I mean, like a woman's jugs? Luke, I'm at a loss. Yes. Singular. Woman jug. Is it reminiscent? My milkshake brings up... I need two of these. I need two of these right now. I don't have one within reach. Oh, have you ever seen a Wild Wild West with Kevin Kline and Will Smith? Right? And they're in the back of the train, and Kevin Kline is dressed as... He's got a disguise as a woman, or he's dressed as a woman or something. And the conductor's like walking back, and he sees Kevin Kline. No. Kevin Kline has like buckshot in his fake jug, right? And Will Smith's like, no, that doesn't feel like a woman's jug here. Then he empties out the prosthetic and fills it with water, and he's like rubbing on it, and the train conductor comes and finds him, and he can't see what's going on. He just hears them talking. No, Luke, I don't think you're the only one. Okay, red, blue, and green are the colors of light. Purple is our brain telling us there is no green. Oh, interesting. Purple photons don't exist. Huh. I did not know that. Oh man, that's the funniest thing I've heard all night. Maybe that's why people enjoy it so much, because it makes them think of... Because you got some good news. Louis, what's going on? Maybe you should send one to Demolition Ranch. So I've had requests to do that a lot. And if I do something like that, it will be with a bigger ring size, and it will be in stainless steel for sure. But that's a project that's got to be funded, and I would have to find time to make it, right? But a lot of people, like, every time I make a video of this, someone comments, it's like, hey, you should hit it with the projectile and see what happens. And this is aluminum, so this isn't gonna stop anything. Like, it might stop an arrow, but it's probably not gonna do that. Accept the job offer for full-time. Your current boss says she's going to be able to keep you on. Keep me on as part-time employee, so during the slow periods, you don't have to go on to unemployment. Okay, hang on. Got the job offer at the new place full-time, and your current boss says that you can continue to work part-time because she still wants you there during slow periods. Okay, right on. Should be an extra shapely stainless submission. Just make a chainmail boob. A single chainmail boob. And have it. Yeah, Demolition Ranch, the Pew Pew guys, the slow-mo guys, they all, with the high-speed cameras and everything. You could get some cool shots of a jelly cube being blown up for science, right? I like the idea. The issue is making one, right? I have well over 120, 130 hours into this, and like, dedicating that amount of time to a project that's going to get destroyed is a difficult decision to make, and it's definitely not high on the priority list. But, you know, if we can get it funded somehow, that'd be definitely something that can be done for sure. New job full-time. Current job will be your side gig now, so you can keep with your residence. There you go. Right on. It would stop an arrow. Either a bucket of sand will stop a bullet, but not an arrow. Yeah. It's not difficult. There's money there. Yeah. It's, you know, got to buy the supplies, got to find the time, and like, okay, so I'm in a position where I don't have to sell everything I make. But in order to fund the projects that I want to make, I have to make stuff that can be for sale. Right? It's a beautiful idea. All right, Louis, congratulations. I hope everything works out. Start a GoFundMe. Well, I mean, there's a place to donate in my link tree if you're on mobile there on TikTok. There's my entire merch store. Thank you for the crown. Right? Myusername.com is my website. I make stuff like this. This isn't currently in the website, but we'll have something up like this soon. Other stuff up like that. As soon as I get done with some projects and can get some time to get on the computer and reorganize my website and everything else and put new products with designs up there. That's the biggest thing I haven't had time to do. The website is it just sits there. It's up and running and it's fine. I just haven't had time to put new products in or anything. So, how small are the links in your hoodies? Do you train for ants for them? The hoodies, I try to average between, it's one picture, it's one image for all the sizes, right? So, for extra small to 2X, it's one image. I try to keep an average of like a 1-inch ring on all the images, which makes my chainmail look really big on small stuff and kind of small on the big stuff. So oh, you meant the hoodie you're wearing now? Yeah, it's, I don't know. How big are these rings? Yeah, let's use some we can measure with. It's just shy of an inch. Like 7/8 maybe. So, and let me finish this row here. But yeah, there's several ways that people can help fund projects. Best way is to go buy merch from my website. New stuff will be up soon, but there's plenty of, if you want a chainmail onesie to run around in, or even just a giant chainmail snug hoodie, those are... Okay, I got my ring here to mark my place, but this layer is done. I need to make one more layer, and then this cube will be done and on its way to a new home. So I've marked where I'm working, and we'll be good to go. All right. And a lot of what I just said is for everyone. There is a place to donate in the link tree if you're on mobile. My merch store is myusername.com. I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories. I'm usually here 8:30 to 10 most nights of the week because, or most nights of the week Central Standard Time. And, I try to stream as often as I can, but, life gets in the way, and that's why you mentioned ants, because you're making fun of you for making a hoodie without links. Oh, okay. Yes, obviously just regular, I don't remember the blend. Polyester, cotton, something. It's listed on all the product pages, unless it's a coffee cup. But don't order the ceramic coffee cups, not the other metal coffee cups. I got to take those off the website. Those are the machine is broken to make those, so I don't know what's going to be fixed. But anyway, what else? Please, it's the same username on all the platforms: X, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook and Instagram. So please go follow me on the other platforms. help me build my audiences, I would greatly appreciate it. And it's an impressive product. Thank you. Go to my store. Donate on my Ko-fi page. Like, follow, share. Yeah, okay. If you're interested in learning about making chainmail, in the link tree here, actually, no, I will just copy, paste, send. You should see a link for a link tree. Control V. Okay, you should see a link for my link tree there, and at the top is the Mailworks web app, right? If you want to learn how to make cool jelly cubes like this, okay, go to the link tree, open up the Mailworks web app. Is the live ending? Yeah, I got to get out of here. I got stuff I got to do, buddy. Inside the Mailworks web app, you'll find where to find chainmail suppliers for rings and stuff, right? Tool recommendations. There is a list of other chainmail artists that do custom work and sell chainmail themselves. So go check them out and support them. There is other useful tools for people that make chainmail, and I'm going to be adding more to make the app more user-friendly. You don't have to download anything. You can just open up the web app, and there it is, right? There is also a Discord inside the Mailworks web app, right? If you want to learn how to make chainmail, there's a lot of experienced chainmail artists in there, and we're getting more and more people as time goes on. Be sure to go to, if you join the Discord, go to the rules. Get out of here, fly. Go to the rules section, hit all the sections, and hit like on all the things on the bottom. And that will give you access to the whole Discord. So, anyway, you are so cool, man. Right back at you, Luke. Thanks for being here. You knew you heard it next to your phone? What? Oh, you heard the fly next to the phone? Yeah, I'll bet. It's, I don't know. There's one or two down here, and they occasionally just come buzz me and fly off, and I don't know where they go. But anyway. All right. So with that, I'm going to say goodnight. You all have a wonderful evening. I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully I'll be back on tomorrow. Last week I was completely taken out by a migraine all week, so that stuff does happen. If I'm not here, I will be back as soon as I can. You all have a wonderful evening. Thanks for being here. You guys make it worth it. All right? Have a good night. Bye.